how huge is it for Atlanta to get Calvin Ridley back, Russell Gage back? They didn't travel to London, and now they're back with the team in Miami.
Yeah, and that really, I thought, at least temporarily, cast kind of a black cloud over what Atlanta was trying to do. You know, what's wrong with him, and why isn't he going over? In the end, it all works out.
Yeah, they got the victory.
Right, and hopefully the issues with the wide receiver room have been worked out. Calvin Ridley is a guy that should go to the Pro Bowl. He's a guy that should have monster numbers, especially with, obviously, Jones no longer here, even with the ascension of Kyle Pitts, and also especially because the Falcons are going to find themselves behind in some games. So if you're not going to win a lot of games, you might as well enjoy the individual show. And Calvin Ridley, and hopefully soon Kyle Pitts, not to mention Patterson, can certainly put on offense individual shows.
For the Washington football team, it seems like it's quote-unquote gut check time. They're heading to Green Bay this Sunday. What can they do to get a victory there?
Yeah, and Chase Young, the talented second-year defensive end and young team leader, used that phrase, gut check.
Which is interesting because some could say it was gut check time a couple weeks ago.
I think if you're a Washington fan that thought they were going to be better than 7-9, that you thought gut check time was week 1.
Right.
Oh, that didn't. Okay, how about week 2?
Yeah.
Okay, how about? I agree with you.
Yeah.
It'll be fun for non-Washington fans to watch this because of what could have been.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be there in Green Bay. Now he's there. I don't know that he's happy because the Aaron Rodgers that we know just from a distance doesn't ever seem like he's ever happy. But he's certainly had fun. Beat the Bears, who he owns.
Right.
Washington will try to not be owned by Aaron Rodgers this time around.
Right. And the Dallas Cowboys are off to a 5-1 start to the season for the first time since the 2016 season. Been around the team a long time. Does this team seem like a Super Bowl caliber type team to you?
Well, what happens is this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You think you're good, and then you start 1-3, and you realize in your heart of hearts, no, we're not. I was wrong. And climbing a mountain when you're 1-3, whether it's a lack of talent, coaching, or psychology, tough. When you're 5-1, everything that you dreamed of is coming true.
Yeah.
And
you can see it. You can visualize it.
Absolutely right. You can feel it, and then you get the feeling. Okay, things are going our way. When Dak Prescott, who's limping around a little bit because of the calf, gets hurt just in time to go on the bye week, and at that point you start thinking, listen, I'm walking.
Things aligning for this.
Right.
Team?
I'm walking down the sunny side of the street like we do every day here at the Star in Frisco.
Right. Okay. So in that overtime victory. Huge win for the Cowboys. Obviously a major confidence booster. However, you guys talked about the biggest thing, which is Dak Prescott's health. He downplayed it in the press conference after, making jokes about it, saying, I just came down on it wrong, no big deal. But how serious is this?
Yeah, the boot truly was as a preventative measure.
Right.
Now we are monitoring this, and as soon as we get real information.
Right.
Not, I'm hearing things are okay. We already know that.
Yeah.
We're already hearing things are okay as of Sunday night. We're not going to report that again on Monday, but as soon as we get information from inside this building,
it out right now.
we'll get information from inside this building, and then we'll get information to you.
Right, but at the backup quarterback situation, it's a little bit unknown.
Yeah.
So this could be a really big deal.
Our guy Matthew Postins wrote a column on CowboysSI.com saying, okay, now that you've got a little bit of a scare, even if it's not serious with Dak Prescott, now do you want to get serious about backup quarterback?
Right.
With the idea of calling the Chicago Bears for one thing.
Yeah, hey Andy,
saying,
can you come back?
Right. Which one of those guys don't you want?
Right.
I don't think that's the way the Cowboys lean, but I do think there's justification for being a buyer in general as we get to the trade deadline. This is as close at this early stage as Jerry Jones, the beloved owner of the Dallas Cowboys, for the last quarter of a century. This, after 6 weeks, is about as close as he's ever been to thinking, Miss Bree, I think we can go back. And so if you feel that way, and they do, you ought to be a buyer going forward. November 2nd, NFL trade deadline.
Right. Okay, before I let you go, Dak Prescott putting on a crazy good caliber season so far. Obviously already in talks for comeback player of the year. What about MVP?
Yeah, and what voters aren't going to recognize is, what about that fumble at the goal line in New England? That's going to be erased by all these gigantic positives. 445 yards passing against New England, never been done before against a Bill Belichick team. That kind of thing jumps out at you.
Right.
Dak, I don't think Dak's ever thrown an incompletion in overtime, ever. And so the idea that this idea of clutch, that somehow those kind of guys have a different gear. I don't know how much that is mythology, but we're watching it unfold with Dak Prescott. And I should add, if you're a Cowboy fan of a certain age, you saw Roger Staubach do it, and you saw Troy Aikman do it, you saw Tony Romo almost do it, and now you're seeing Dak Prescott do it.